As the stigma around cannabis subsides, brands like Doritos, Domino's, and Uber are going to want to promote their products to a demographic that's projected to be bigger than beer. But when they eventually try to advertise, they'll discover that outdated laws prevent platforms like Facebook, Google, and Twitter from accepting their ads. Fortunately, it is legal to advertise on podcasts, but unfortunately, most cannabis podcasts don't have enough listeners. The good news is PodConX is solving this problem by bringing all the cannabis podcasts onto our network and then combining all of our listeners. Our network's combined audience is already by far the largest. But to be prepared for national brands, we need to get bigger fast. So we need your help. PodConX has launched an equity crowdfunding campaign, so we're ready to support national advertisers. For as little as $100, you can become an early PodConX investor. Go to wefunder.com/podconx.com. That's wefunder.com. And for just $100, you can share in our growth.
Let's sell a brand. Let's convince doctors. Let's sell a very high value product where we can make a good profit and help out a lot of lives. And the fact that we've been doing this for a year and a half with those type of profitability numbers, it's just gonna get us closer and closer to cash flow neutrality. And in the meantime, we are expanding our wings into all these countries. Let's say all the 6. We are in a dominant position in almost all of them. So I think 2022 is going to be extremely exciting for all of us. Can't wait.
From the PodConX studios, high in the Rockies at the beautiful Beaver Creek Resort, it's the Raising Cannabis Capital Show.
Today on MJ Bulls, we are joined by Alvaro Torres, the CEO of khiron-life-science. Alvaro, welcome to the show.
Hi, Dan. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and I'm really excited. Most of our guest companies do business in the United States or North America, at least. So I'm excited to speak to you today because you do business in Latin America and Europe. And I know our listeners are going to be excited because khiron-life-science is a publicly traded company with operations in Colombia, Peru, Germany, and UK.
Yeah.
I got to ask you, I know from researching your company that really the foundation of your business is providing patient access to quality products. But with all these different markets, maybe you can explain how you achieve it in each different market.
Well, then I think I'll just summarize it that we are obsessed with providing access. And that means that we have to be really good at regulation, really good at marketing, really good at understanding that doctor and that patient. And if you understand that every market is different, but you're obsessed with how do we get that patient a bottle as quickly, efficient, as safe as possible, that's why the business has been growing so fast. Every business is different. Every market has different challenges. But I think that obsession and that focus, that's what makes us grow everywhere. It's not just about selling cannabis, but improving the quality of life of people. So that's a very short answer. It's something very complex, but the more obsessed we are with it, the easier it gets for us to understand how we can make it work.
Yeah, and I see that you're really obsessed with data too. And I know that that's sort of the driver in all your decision making. Maybe you can explain how your command of your data has created opportunities for your company.
Well, Dan, I'm an engineer, so it's very difficult to make decisions unless you understand exactly what's happening all across the company. Because cannabis is so new, you need to make tactical decisions all the time. How do we improve the retention? How do we improve the patients coming back to the clinics that we own? How do we make sure that we can provide all this data to all these doctors? And I think from the beginning, we said, let's set up a platform that allows us to make those decisions. And so that we can really measure the metrics that make our business sustainable. So how many patients are we seeing every day? How many of them are turning to cannabis? How many of them are returning? How many of them are coming back because of insurance? And that obsession with data is what allows us then to convince more doctors and more patients. So you look at, I think today we'll see more than 20-something thousand patients all across the world.
Oh my gosh.
The point that we have on all these patients allows us to continue convincing more patients to come back. But those things we started 3 years ago. And only just today we start to see the results of being so focused on it.
Man. You mentioned insurance, and I just couldn't wait to ask you this, but I know you have operations in Colombia, and I noticed that Colombia is going to or has already started to include cannabis in their health insurance. How will that impact your business?
Oh, it's been tremendous. Colombia started last year because of the work that we've done on the data, where we're showing the government of Colombia not only is this much safer than opiate, but it's much cheaper for you. And when you live in a third world country like ours, you certainly need to try to save money on healthcare. And we got the government to help us do that. And that means today that in Colombia alone, almost 65% of our sales come from insurance. And I think for that brief perspective, when we thought about the company, we believe cannabis is the most disruptive thing that can happen for pain management in Latin America and Europe. But we have to face a big enemy called opiates, and opiates are free. And unless we start making, cannabis also free, we're never going to be able to combat this massive monster. And the fact that we've been spending 2 years convincing the government, showing them the data, and we got now the government to mandate every insurance company to do this, I think that's just going to continue to grow our business. And if that's not exciting enough, think about when we take all this data, we take it to Mexico, Brazil, Peru, Chile, and we show them this is working for thousands of patients. You have to try to do the same. And of course, on the back of it, Khiron will continue to be leading that conversation. But that's sort of what we wanted to do 3 years ago. And it's happy that the government decided to do that. I think it's going to be an example for Latin America. So it is just Latin America, 670 million people. No? So quite a big region, a lot of patients.
Oh my gosh. That is, well, you deserve a lot of credit for that, because back to the data that we talked about, exercising that data to support your position with the government and hopefully parlaying that into other countries within South America and Latin America is only going to help out those patients. This really comes back to education. And I know education is really important, not just to educate the government, but also you use it to educate your patients and your staff. Can you maybe explain how you do that?
Well, first you need a lot of patience because education takes time. But once you start hitting the ground and people start to understand what you're providing in terms of evidence, without evidence, there's no prescription. So imagine an ecosystem today where we have 400, 500 patients getting cannabis every day. Imagine those 500 data points, which are now becoming evidence. And imagine every single day you go after new doctors all around the world, in Germany, UK, whatever, and you show them all these data points. You start to show them how it works. The more patients we get in our clinics, the more patients we are getting cannabis, the faster we are to be able to convince new doctors, which is why last year we grew more than 900% in sales in cannabis in 2021, because it gets easier the more evidence you present. And we're just really getting started. I like to say we're in the first inning of the first game of the World Series when it comes to this. So I think it's a very exciting opportunity. And international market cannabis is just really getting started. And there's not 1,000 companies doing this, no?
Well, 2021 was another record year for you. I know you just finished year end. Maybe you can share some highlights with us.
Well, I think three things. First, in Latin America, we grew almost, say, 900% in sales of medical cannabis. We maintain 85% gross profits on these cannabis sales. We started selling in Europe, in Germany in March, and now Europe represents almost 30% of our sales with more than 90% gross profits. So overall, when we're looking at 12 times the total revenues we had this year versus 2021 versus 2020, it's very exciting. And we still have Mexico and Brazil, and really to really get into the UK faster. So it's very exciting because from the beginning, we didn't want to be a low cost producer. What we want to do is let's sell a brand, let's convince doctors, let's sell a very high value product where we can make a good profit and help out a lot of lives. And the fact that we've been doing this for a year and a half with those type of profitability numbers, it's just going to get us closer and closer to cash flow neutrality. And in the meantime, we are expanding our wings into all these countries, let's say only 6. We are in a dominant position in almost all of them. So I think 2022 is going to be extremely exciting for all of us. Can't wait.
Of the first game of the World Series.
Yeah.
And you talked a little bit about how your margins are growing, which to me represents that you've established a brand and people are recognizing this brand and willing to pay versus just a low cost provider. maybe just give us a feel for what we can expect in the later innings of this first game.
Well, I think for this year, Colombia and Germany are going to be markets that are going to be very important to our top line, just because we are growing so much. And I think you will continue to expect that upper double-digit growth for the next 4 quarters. After that, I think the UK market extremely exciting. We had an amazing December. We're having an amazing January in terms of how much it's growing, and you don't have to take me at my word. The Reddit posts people are putting on our products are amazing. We just opened our clinic in the UK in late November, and the ability that we have to bring more patients gets very excited about the UK. And of course, after that, it's Mexico and Brazil. And I think, I'm laser focused with the entire team on getting UK, Mexico, and Brazil to be markets where we enter. These are markets where we're going to see this year entry of Khiron, but we're going to be positioned for a fantastic 2023 if we just keep doing what we're doing in Colombia and Germany and Peru, which is first mover advantage, have a really good product, build a brand. And how do we know we have a brand? In the end, the brand is a connection with a consumer. But when we have more than 50% retention, when we see patients going out there and publicly talking about what we do for them, that's creating a brand, and that's what's going to get excited. I think all this work that we're doing to get into countries like Mexico and Brazil, combined 400 million people, I think it's just going to be massive. And the UK, it's just fantastic. The last 2 months, particularly since we opened the clinic, the impact that's going to have in our business. So it's very exciting times. And I think on the meantime, what we just need to keep doing, we just keep sticking to our guns, sticking to our culture, having an amazing team, and keep putting the patient first, because in the end, that's really what's going to matter. If you don't take care of the front store, the back end of the store will not take care of itself. So it's all about patients, and that's why we're going to be maintaining that focus this year.
Oh my gosh. Well, as I mentioned earlier, khiron-life-science is a publicly traded company, and we have all their stock information in the show notes, along with links for investors if you want to learn more about their company, or if you're interested in international opportunities, you definitely should check out khiron-life-sciences. Alvaro, this was great. I really appreciate you being on the show today. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it. And thank you for all those great questions. Have a great day.